we've been waiting so long for this moment, haven't we, eh? Theresa May is gone at last. That miserable piece of shit. I got so sick of her crawling in and going, I mean, I'm sure she wasn't quite as bad as she always came across, but that bitonal voice thing that she had, that meant her voice always cracked and all that, and I'm so sick of hearing about her. And I'm so glad she's gone. I'm so glad. The timing is awful. We don't need a new Prime Minister right now. We need to be getting on with fucking getting out of Europe, which is obviously the only reasonable way to do that at this point is WTO, isn't it? Obviously, that's the only way. Just do it now. Tomorrow, say WTO. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing tomorrow. WTO. End of story. Not that they can get that shite through Parliament, because this fucking tool went and handed everything to the Labour Party, who just want to frustrate it for their own benefit. They don't give a fuck. They don't care nearly as much as they actually say they care. They just want to get in power, and it suits them just fine the way the numbers are balanced right now, because the Conservatives have got a minority government because this prick called a general election and threw away a majority. So yeah, I say WTO, but who knows what'll get through this bullshit fucking Commons. It's ridiculous. For me, it is the law that we go out on WTO. So the new leader should say, day one, that is the law, WTO. She should have had the fucking balls to say it. And rather than start from a holistic top-down thing where we have a deal that sorts out everything, although obviously the deal wasn't even a deal. The deal was a deal to do a deal after we'd left, with a few things that basically meant we were in, but without having a say in all that bollocks. It was an awful deal, everyone agreed, because it wasn't even a deal. Nothing was sorted out. Baseline, WTO, do it Monday, say it straight a fucking way. That's what we're doing. What can we build onto that before we leave? That's how you fucking do it. It's the only way. Will I, you, and everyone else be happy with everything that gets added to it? No, we won't. But that's life. That's politics. It's about compromise. But at least this stupid motherfucker is out of the way. And there's a good reason for that from the Conservatives' point of view. And that is the fact that, later tonight, it's looking like we're going to get a Brexit party rinsing. And I mean, look at the state of this for the Conservatives. Now, obviously, in theory, all our MEPs will be gone by the end of the year because we won't be in Europe anymore and all that. The European elections were not about us having representation in Europe. I know a lot of the parties sold it that way. It had fuck all to do with representation in Europe. We all know by now that the MEPs, that you're not voting for someone that can propose laws. So what's the point? You're voting for someone that does as they're told in terms of the party line. There's no individual there. The best we can hope for is pricks like Sargon and Tommy Robinson getting in there, because they'll actually be privy to the inner workings of it. And you know what I'd love? I'd love a lot more transparency, because so much of it is done behind closed doors, and I don't like that. Some things have to be. Of course they do. Let's live in the real world here, shall we? If they're having a snide meeting about Iran sending terrorists over, we don't necessarily need to fucking hear about it, do we, eh? Because it might jeopardise the thing, of course. But let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater in terms of that. Now, the saying Boris is the favourite. The favourite to win at the start has never actually won before. From the Conservatives' point of view, Boris has to win. He has to. I know that you can come in with all these other people that have got, they want WT and all that. I don't think Boris wants WTO. I think that's the weakness of him. But he's crazy enough to give the public the impression that he does, so he can get that back in. But this is the reason they need Boris right now. And you might be a Labour voter or UKIP or whatever, and you might not hate him. You might be a Brexit party or whatever. But from their point of view, Farage right now is the motherfucking king. He is untouchable. That ex-banker mates with Trump. He right now is the man of the people. He's touring working men's clubs. He's got people giving him cakes and jumpers and all that shit. You see the footage of him getting milkshakes, and they go, "Oh, look at him sulking," because obviously when you're attacked in the street, if you respond negatively to it, that's bad for you, isn't it? You're a bad person for not wanting to be attacked in the street, whilst exercising your human rights. But yeah, the only thing that's going to beat Nigel is Boris. He's the only person with anywhere close to the notoriety, the personality, and the balls. Other people might be good, better, or worse, or whatever, but there's no contest. If the Conservatives put anyone other than Boris at the top of their thing right now, they're just asking for absolute destruction. Then you know what? Then they deserve everything that's happened in the last 3 years with Theresa May. If their membership is that stupid to pick anyone but Boris, and yeah, I know he's got a bad history. We can sit here and we can go on about all the gaffes and the mistakes, and you can do that with every single politician under the sun, you know. But why bother? There's a reality. There's facts on the ground right now. Boris needs to, man. Whether or not he's going to be able to do anything, I don't know. Let's have a quick look. If it does, be sure to be streaming. All right, yeah. I would try, but I'm not sure whether vaping is allowed. Oh, yeah. Richie, go and get fried with 5G. I know, I can't wait. The witch is gone, Dick Dong, yeah, and all that stuff. People agreeing on WTO. Still not as big a traitor as Tony Blair. Give advice to Macron on Brexit. Yeah, that was a weird one, wasn't it? That was. I mean, I think traitor is a strong word. Here's the thing, man. Like, you know, he's entitled to his opinion and he's entitled to his perspective, and it's a weird one, isn't it? Like, I don't like all this like who funds you crap with agencies and stuff like that, because the reason people want to know who funds you is so they can harass them out of existence. It's so they can destroy their lives, their families, their happiness completely. And I think we need to respect, you know, like the fact that, you know, like it or not, Tony Blair is a human being. He is entitled to his perspective, and he's entitled to go over there. He is. I don't like it, but it is what it is. And that's the thing. We should do it. We need consistency with that. You know. And so when Trump's saying that May's weak and he would have handled it better, he probably would have done, wouldn't he? Let's just be candid for a moment. Donald Trump would have handled the Brexit negotiations better than Theresa May. That's how awful she is. Think about that. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Blair's bad and everything, but I think he should be allowed to do that if that's what he wants and that's his interests. Then personal freedom. I believe in your freedom, my freedom, and his freedom also. You know. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with a lot of things that Tony Blair did. The biggest of which being, you know, what he did to our economy, the bombs that he placed in it, and obviously the insane assault on free speech by way of Section 127 of the Communication Act. He's just erased hundreds of years of free speech common law there, which was nice. May has already signed up to military unification with the EU, so if we do leave, what happens then? Well, again, this is the thing with Boris. He's more likely to do that, isn't he? He's more likely to be... Because that's the thing, man. We keep hammering on about all this shite with, like, trading and, you know, what about, like, people coming here? Because people just strawman the fuck out of it. They're like, well, there'll be a border on Ireland. There doesn't have to be. We don't have to build a border. There's no rule to say we have to build a fecking border. There's no rule to say we have to kick everyone out. Keep everyone here. Keep everyone that's moved here, keep them here. Oh, what about the NHS? It needs doctors. We can still get them. We are not closing the country down forever. The straw manning is insane. I think long term, it very likely could be good for us. And maybe Boris is what we need right now. How the fuck did we get here? I don't know. Worrying. Hello, everyone. Still all the anons. I love the anons. If you want to know what I'm talking about, go on triggerwarning.tv/live. If our YouTube chat ever gets shut down or censored or anything like that, we have our own chat room with a stream, so you can come and let me know. You can also tweet me at Graham Boove if you'd like to get in touch and all the rest of it. Boris will blame the Russians. It's funny how we Both sides, all sides blame the Russians when it's convenient, don't they? But yeah, the thing about this, the EU elections, it's the first one that I've followed with the intensity as I have, because all bets are off right now. I mean, I don't even believe these opinion polls very much. I don't. I think it's bullshit. They can't weight the opinion polls against the chaos that we've had right now. I do believe that Brexit Party's got a lot of support. Is it this much? Is it more or less? I don't know. But apart from that, I don't believe any of this. I think it's bollocks. I think it could go either way. I mean, it's nonsense. So I'm really excited for tonight. I'm going to be up all night watching this. I am so hyped for it. I can't wait. I can't wait to see the results. And again, my biggest one, I really, really want, for my own personal amusement, I really want live on the BBC, Tommy Robinson to get... Sorry, I can't even say it. I really want Tommy Robinson to get elected. I think it would be fucking hilarious. I want. You know the way they always go, Stephen Yaxley Lennon, founder of the EDL, member of the BB. I love the fact that they'll then have to say Tommy Robinson MEP. The thing is, man, it's all fucked. Boris right now is our best hope. So all bets are off for me. I'd rather have the fun. I'd rather have the memes, the chaos, the tears of him getting in, because people are like, he's a fascist. He's not a fascist or a racist. He's misinformed about certain things. His approach is awful sometimes. Don't be banging on people's doors in the middle of the night. Jesus Christ. But he's not a fascist. He's an activist with a certain perspective, and he's been heavily demonised in there. And I think it'd be fucking hilarious. I can't wait. I just want to read Owen Jones's weekly hate piece about him. I think it'd be fucking great for Tommy Robinson to just have more power than Owen Jones. Come on, it'd be fun. You know it'd be fun. You know it'd be fucking hilarious. Him getting banned for a month for swearing and all that stuff. It'd be great. It'd be so much fun. And I really hope, just for my own personal enjoyment. None of his politics, none of his issues, none of what he's doing, because ultimately he can't propose laws. So why the fuck should I care? He's already said he's going to donate all his wages to abuse victims anyway, which charities all signed an open letter saying they'd refuse it. What, you're going to refuse 70 grand a year, are you? You're gonna refuse funding 2 or 3 members of staff, good staff, trained staff, good people, paying them well comparatively for I used to work in this industry. I know how much the wages have halved. They've halved, man, under the Tories. You're talking mid 25, 26 grand down to like 12 grand a year. It's pathetic. So you think of the people you get with that. With his wages, they could hire all these people for 5 years for the time that he's in there. And they're like, no, because they can't quietly just accept it and not make a big deal out of it. No, they have to publicly say no to the man who, for all of his faults and his criminal background and all that. Some of the work he's done with the grooming gangs and that has been important. It has. He for all the shit he gets, he actually keeps it. And people go, oh well, he didn't break any of it. I mean, he does now. Of course he does. He gets stuff sent to him all the time. But so what if he didn't break any of it? He took the slings and arrows of standing there and saying it and getting the message out of the fact that thousands of children were raped and sold into slavery, trafficked around the country. It was covered up, openly covered up. Which reminds me, I'll talk about that on Thursday, the Trump thing, actually. And he took all his shit, and some of it he deserves, but most of it he doesn't. And he took it primarily to get that message out there, and it's worked. It's done. We got the arrests. They can't hide it any longer. 30 years of wanton destruction in our communities, and it's still happening. Here's the thing about the EU referendum that really annoyed me. There's been this dead serious thing about the fact that like they can't discuss exit polls and things like that. And we had this one like the straight away. The Netherlands had it on the same day as of us, and we've got exit polls straight away. CNN, boom, and European papers as well. It's like just straight away we got the exit polls, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on in a minute here. Pro-European parties are predicted to triumph in the European election against populists. I'm starting to dislike the term populists because it's anyone right of the far left now that's popular. You know, if anyone centre right, far right has any kind of resonance with the public at all. Like, they make a good point. They go, oh, populist. It's like, it's becoming one of those words, isn't it, that we're going to have to drop soon because it's running out of meaning. But yeah, here we are. And the reason we don't have the exit polls, and I don't agree with this, but I respect it, I respect the logic, is if you publish opinion polls saying that pro-European parties winning in the Netherlands, that might influence other countries who aren't voting till yesterday or today. So there is a thing there because people are like, oh, they're winning. Right, I'm going to get with the winning team. And I get that because it doesn't work in the European Parliament. It doesn't work in terms of you don't sit by country, you sit by affiliation. So all the communists sit there, all the UKIPs, all the independence people sit together. That's how they do it. So you're not just voting for your area or your country. You are voting for the whole of Europe. You really, really are. There's a connectivity there, which is why we don't do this. But now we've got the fact that a pro-Europe poll is there. That's been published. And it's not just CNN. It's all over the place. And we've got the EU Observer here saying the Irish Greens take Dublin in second EU exit poll. Ireland's Green Party scored high in the EU elections on Friday. In the second pro-European exit poll, Irish people also want to relax divorce laws and all that. Blah, 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 blah. Now, why are we having all this conversation about all these pro-European... It's interesting, isn't it? That there's all these rules about not doing it, but it's kind of slipped by for Ireland and the Netherlands. I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on here to say, isn't it interesting how... I mean, I don't know why. I don't know the reasons why. But I will say that we had our polling on Thursday and our media has been tight-lipped about it other than the fact it happened. So that's making me think that the exit polls show that the Brexit party have rammed every other party up the arse. But they're not talking about it. They're not talking about the anti-EU ones, but the results that go in the favour of the EU have been leaking out. Interesting that, isn't it? I can't say why. I don't know why, but it is interesting. You can't deny it. I suspect if the Lib Dems had done very, very well here, I suspect there would have been rumblings and rumourings and an exit poll may have been leaked. Because the BBC are already sat on him. Of course they are. They've had him since Thursday night. All the media agencies have. So they all know the truth. I don't know. So I suspect it's a big night for anti-Europe in this country. And good. It's what we need. We need a kick up the arse. Because you've got to remember, it's like I said before, the European elections have got fuck all to do with actual MEPs taking the seat. The European elections were a surrogate for the second referendum. That's all they were. It was remain or leave. That's all anyone fucking voted on. Unless you voted for fucking Tommy Robinson and it's just like a big fuck it. Let's put a new jester in Europe. Let's throw a bit of human dynamite into it all there and let him have fun and see what happens. But that's what it was. You know, everyone's hammering on about a second referendum. That's what it was. And if you don't think that, then I'm sorry, but you're wrong. It was a second referendum in everything but name. And it was leave or remain, or if you really wanted to be like then you could have voted Labour because they don't have a fucking clue what they want, do they? I hope Labour get trounced in this for that one reason, man. I've got it right here, man. Bringing our country together. Whether you voted Leave or Remain. All right, that's fucking useless then, isn't it, eh? Hey? Fuck all about Europe, innit? Piss off, man. He needs to quit as well. I suspect maybe he will after this, but who knows with him? Who knows?